Hello friends, this is Sukhwant Singh. The story that I'm going to share today has elements of empathy, betrayal, and I'm sure will also make you laugh, especially towards the end. There was a schoolmaster. He was not very rich. In order to reach his school and go back to his home, he had to walk a long way. Whether it was summers or rains or winters, he always had to face the hardship of walking that long distance. His dream was to own a bike. And one fine day, with a lot of savings which he managed, he was able to buy a second-hand bike for himself, and he was very happy. Because now going to the school was better than what it used to be earlier. One thing that he did while going towards the school or even while returning to his home was to provide lift to the people who used to be walking on that same path, because he knew the kind of pain which one had to go through. He often used to stop his bike at the strangers and ask them to get on his bike, and he used to provide them the much desired lift. One fine day, he came across a stranger whom he offered the lift as usual, and when he had traveled for some distance, he could feel a prick of some sharp instrument on his back. The man whom he had given the lift, naturally, he had put some sharp instrument and demanded that he should stop the vehicle. The teacher, he stopped his vehicle and said, "Yes, what can I do for you?" And the man who was at the back, he said, "You are an idiot. I want your bike. Get down from the vehicle and I'm going to take away your bike because I am a thief and even I have to earn my livelihood." The teacher had no option. He got down from the bike and with saddened heart, he offered the bike to the thief and requested him. He said, "Take away the bike, but please don't repeat your robbery on this street. Otherwise, people will lose faith and will stop providing lift to people on this road. And I know how difficult it is." The thief looked at him and he said, "You are nothing more than an idiot, and here I go." And he went off. The teacher was, of course, very sad, and he came back to his home that day evening shattered, because now it was not possible for him to go for another saving to get a bike for himself. So he decided that, well, and now onwards again he has to go onto the road and walk. And of course he accepted the fate as it was. Now next morning, what happened, when the teacher woke up and came out of his house, to his utter surprise and happiness, he saw his bike parked right in front of his house. And there was a paper attached to the handlebar. He went to the paper, he picked up the paper, and the robber had written a letter for him. The letter said, "Well, you and your bike both are famous. Finally, I have given up and I have brought this bike back to you. because the moment I dropped you and went ahead, I took your bike to the mechanic. The moment the mechanic saw this bike, he said, "What are you doing with master's bike?" And I told him, "Well, he has given me some errand to do some work and get back to him." Later he said that when I went to another shop, the shopkeeper saw it and said, "What are you doing on master's bike?" And he had to tell him the same thing. He said, "Not only this, I went to another village. Even there people recognized, because you remember he used to give the lift to strangers also. And then he said, even in other village, nearby village also, people recognized your vehicle." Finally, he said, in one of the squares, I came across police cops. They stopped me and they asked, they were sure that I had stolen your bike. But then I said, "No, Masterji has given this bike to me for some work." And finally I realized that it was not possible to steal your bike, and here I have brought this back to you. What do we learn from this? We learn that good deeds done never go waste, and always carry on doing what you think is right. And also